All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully like out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right. And what I want to get into today, is Proverbs 17:2. It's a pretty heavy precept. And when you go into it, Proverbs chapter 17, verse 2, it says, a wise servant shall have rule over a son that causes shame, and shall have part of the inheritance among the brethren. Okay. So when you read that, because you have to understand, the social structure, of ancient society. All right. Where you will have a man, and he had an estate. Okay. And you will have sons and servants. All right. And you might have a foolish son. All right. A son that couldn't get right. All right. And he would lose his inheritance rights and it'd be given to a servant, one of the servants of his father's house. Okay. And when you look at these things in the spirit, all right, as we, become servants, okay, in this society, well, you have a remnant, which will be likened to what? A wise servant. You know, the remnant, in this captivity are servants that have become wise, the sons that have become wise. All right. And this shameful son, all right, can be likened unto who? Esau, because the world is finna get snatched from him. The inheritance of the earth is finna get snatched from him and given to those wise servants. And it says that he shall have a part of the inheritance among the brethren, because we being adopted back into being the sons of God. Okay. So we're those wise servants, okay, that have become wise in this captivity. And Esau's this shameful son who's finna be disinherited, okay? And we're finna receive the inheritance, man. It was always set up for us to receive it, from the beginning, all right? But the Lord wanted these things to play out in this particular way. So let's put some more precepts with it. So it says a wise servant shall have rule over a son that causes shame. Well, let's go back to Genesis. Let's get the promises. Okay. You go to Genesis, all right, chapter 25, going into the birth of Jacob and Esau. Well, the Genesis 25 and 22 says, and the children struggled together within her, and she was said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she, all right, and she went to inquire of the Lord. So this is Rebecca, all right, she's pregnant with with Jacob and Esau. Okay, and there was a war, in the womb. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. The one shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. You see that? So it was always set up for the elder, which was Esau, to serve the younger. Okay, but before this will be fulfilled, we had to be servants. We had to be those servants that would become wise in this captivity. Okay. And this is why you see now what a transition of power, because this is finna be fulfilled. See, this is what we're living in. This is what Esau is fighting against, the elder, okay, serving the younger. Okay. And Esau being what? The son of shame, the son that causes shame. You look at Esau's rulership, and it's a goddamn shame how this man runs the earth, man. Okay. And that's why he's finna lose it. And it's finna be given to who? All right, these wise servants, which have been adopted back as what? Sons. Okay, because you go into here in the book of Hosea. All right, let's get the book of Hosea dealing with this prophecy. Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. Okay, he said, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. Okay, so here it is in this captivity. What have we been classified as? Slaves, servants, employees, niggas, spics, wetbacks, all derogatory terms that denoted low social standing. Okay, but in the same place when we had to serve captivity, the same place, all right, that the Lord has made us wise servants. Okay, in the same place where the Lord is making us wise servants. You see, that's getting ready to inherit, okay, as the sons of God. You see? So going back, let's go here. Let's get this in the book of Sirach 11:5. It said, many kings have sat down upon the ground. Okay? Many kings have sat down on the ground, and one that was never thought of have worn the crown. One that was never thought of have worn the crown. You see? And we those servants that no one, all right, is thinking about. Okay? But see, the Lord has allowed what? Those servants to become wise in this captivity. Okay? That's why it says, which in the book of Baruch, show you that we became wise in our captivity. And it began with what? This is the book of Baruch chapter 2 and verse 30 said, for I knew that they were, all right, for I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. So as servants, what? We will remember ourselves. You see? So in the land of our captivity, we remembered ourselves, and that was the beginning of us becoming wise. Okay? The spirit of Yahushua stirred up our spirit to what? Remember ourselves, man. Okay? And shall know that I am, it says, and shall know that I am the Lord, their power, for I will give thee an heart, okay, and ears to hear. That's us becoming wise. Okay? So the Lord said what? He will give them a heart, all right, which is a mind, and ears to hear the instructions. Because how are we becoming wise? Through this teaching going up. And us being able to receive and be edified by this teaching, we're becoming those wise servants. All right, it's going to be elevated to sons. You see, the devil been checkmated again. All right, you lose again, Esau, and this time it's for good. Okay, it says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath, all right, unto their fathers. So us becoming wise, you know, and being able to what? To recognize and acknowledge sin and repent. Because what put us in captivity, those are the things that we've repented from. Okay? So now as the Lord has put the spirit of wisdom on us and to denounce wickedness and rebellion, okay, now he's grooming us up for rulership. He's getting ready to destroy, all right, the militaries of the earth, turn us into immortal, all right, and place us back into the land. You see, this is the path, okay, of the wise servant. You see? And it says, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deed, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which have sinned before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. They shall not be diminished, man. Okay? So this path, okay, that we're on as those wise servants and us going back to being in power forever in righteousness, man. Okay, us receiving that inheritance. Okay, but first what we had to go, we had to become servants, and then we had to become wise servants, and now we're finna become the sons, okay, of God. You see? It says, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive them. It says, I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. You know, so yeah, man, this is a beautiful story, that the Lord has playing out, you know. From this is the greatest rags to riches story ever told. Okay, the life of the nation of Israel beginning with the sons. Okay, so Lord will you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified, all right, and give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great example towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutations to hopeful elect Shalom.